Hey everyone, welcome back to Apollo Art Analysis. This episode, we're going to be checking out a piece by the established multidisciplinary artist known as Stephen Young. This episode, we're going to be talking about triangular balance, we're going to talk about mid-journey, and we're also going to talk about the dangers of paving over past deities. So let's jump right into it. So whenever you first see this work, you're met with a lone monument, really commanding the center region of the canvas here. Certainly draws the eye, and it kind of feels like a calm introduction with a little bit of a sinister flair with this kind of fluorescent orange. Kind of reminds of fire in that introduction. We'll go a bit deeper that here in a second, but you see it really commands the center region, right? So it's going to draw the eye. And aside from that, it is also accented through this light on dark contrast, right? You have that night sky, a little bit of stars there as well. Perfect neutral backing to really pop out and emphasize itself to the highest degree possible. So you'll also notice there is a sense of balance here. So not only do we have our monument flanked by two rows of palms, that does give us a sense of kind of near symmetry, which of course feels quite harmonious, feels quite balanced in that final result. But it also feels balanced in the fact that it is not top heavy by any means. So we have that kind of triangular order as well. So all in all, that, near symmetry and that triangular order is all going to feel very balanced, maybe even divine in that kind of harmony. So all in all, we do see what appears to be kind of like a triad color scheme. And to some, this may feel, a little unsettled. Others, this may feel quite intense. So with that in mind, how do you feel when you view this work, and what do you see when you view this work? Both are very important questions when we're looking at this. And so our monument here, it is actually described as brutalist in the original prompt. We'll look at that here in a second. But all in all, of course, it does command our eye. It is very strong. It looks quite solid, maybe stone of some sorts. And then we have these palm trees as well. It does feel quite tropical. But aside from that, we have this kind of fluorescent orange. It almost feels like fire, a little bit of a burnt orange as well in that kind of ascending region. So all in all, it's going to feel a little bit invigorated. Of course, you have that bit of visual energy there, of course, in harmony with the moon. So I'm going to bring the prompt here real quick. We're going to see what we can learn and kind of look at this scene a bit deeper. So there we are. So tropical brutalist monument, Spomenic, nightscape. At night, a vast planetary sci-fi city by Ansel Adams and Bernardo Bellato. Oil on canvas, award-winning texture, pastel palette. Yeah, so we certainly see this. So first, since we're talking about the monument right now, let's point to that brutalism, right? Brutalism is always going to feel very sleek, feel very concrete, feel very raw. There's not really too many curves in the brutalist movement. It's normally very, very strong, very raw, if you will. But all in all, we certainly see that here. And then, of course, the color gives it a bit of life as well. Normally, I think of the brutalist style as very, gray and dark. And so to see that added with a bit of fluorescent orange is pretty interesting as well. So this is the original prompt that was put into Midjourney to create the scene before us. So this is an AI generative work. So really like that prompt. I wanted to reference that real quick. And so I talked a bit about this fluorescent orange within the work at hand, and this is quite important as we're actually looking at a site to an old god, and actually an angry god at that. So this site used to be home to a past deity, trying to honor this very angry god, and we kind of see that in this fluorescent orange, right? And so with this in mind, as time passes, there is, of course, the wisdom of the past that is kind of forgotten. And the wisdom of the past is really well earned, right? You have so many different people who made mistakes, people then look at that, immortalize that in art, and that kind of goes over and over and over again. But aside from that, with the passage of time is the inevitable decay, a little bit of loss of that memory as well, right? So we actually see that here. So this used to be a monument to an old angry god, but now a new civilization has arrived, and this civilization actually does not know about. They have no idea that this used to be a site to an ancient angry god. So they erect a new civilization on top of that. And they actually create a paradise, or a kind of paradise resort of pleasure, if you will. So we see that here. Of course, they're trying to create some type of scenic luxury spot, right? We have those palms. We have, of course, a simple commanding structure under the moon as well. So all in all, it's quite interesting, right? They have no idea that they erected this kind of paradise pleasure resort on top of the site of an old angry god. So with this in mind, there is a sense of darkness that's throughout the entire work at hand. And the artist really explicitly talks about this, trying to go for this dark and foreboding feeling, really harking back to that kind of angry god and the wrath that we feel that. So all in all, the question I want to ask here is, will we treat the angry gods of our past with dignity, or will we simply pave over them like pleasure in paradise? So all in all, really like this work today. Like I said, it is an AI generative work, so it was created in an AI program. That program is going to be Midjourney. It's actually, personally, I believe it provides the best amount of power and accessibility for the average user. So if you guys want to get into AI generative art, or if you're a little bit in it, you want to get a bit deeper, check out Midjourney. It's an incredible program. So I hope y'all enjoyed today. If y'all did, go check out the original artist, Stephen Young. Like I said, always doing some really good stuff here, especially in the AI generative world. He always has these really interesting storylines through the works that I always love to really dive into and kind of explore a lot. So hope y'all enjoyed today. If y'all did, like I said, go check out the original artist, Stephen Young. My name is Apollo. This was Apollo Art Analysis, and I'll see y'all on the next episode. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you'd like to support our work directly, please check out our Apollo community tokens. Apollo Art Exchange is an ecosystem of art appreciation which elevates artists each and every day. Thanks for listening.